what trend am I on? 6? Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a trends video. I'm going to be talking about some of the top trends for 2021. I know it's kind of towards the end of January. Normally this might be something you do at the beginning, but I thought that since it's still technically the beginning of the new year, I could still do a video on trends for this year. This is my first trends video, so I hope you guys like it. Be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications if you want to find out when my next videos are coming out. And so I'm going to be looking at my phone for some of these trends because I did a lot of research, but I don't remember everything. So I'm just going to keep looking at my phone. So if you see me looking down, or you might be able to see my phone now that I think about it. So the first trend that's going to be really big this year, even more so than last year, and last year it was becoming much more of a trend than in years past, is loungewear. So loungewear is obviously much more of a necessity this year and most of last year than it was in years past. More people are working from home, more people are at home in general, whether they're working, going to school. A lot of jobs I think are still in kind of an in-between area of a lot of people are still working from home, and it's just uncertain in a lot of places how long this will last. So many brands are coming out with more stylish loungewear, more options for loungewear, different kinds, different materials, more maybe like high fashion even loungewear or luxury kind of loungewear that I hear a lot of people talking about, and a lot of brands coming out with, a lot of designer brands, and of course a lot of non-high street, and of course a lot of other brands that aren't designer coming out with that really nice and cute loungewear because everyone's in it, and that's what everybody is so used to wearing at this point. I'm not sure that's a trend that's going to be going away anytime soon because everyone is just so used to it at this point. I think that people are just going to really not want to go back to wearing things that are uncomfortable anymore. Whether that be in loungewear or everyday clothes, I think that comfort in the next few years, and especially this year, is going to be something that brands are going to be a lot more focused on versus style, and coming to a happy medium of comfort and style. So that is one trend that is really big this year, and I am definitely on board with it. I love loungewear. I love comfy loungewear. I really want things that are going to keep me comfortable and cute and not making me look or feel like a slob at home. So I think that is a great trend for this year. I cannot figure out this phone. Okay, the second trend that is really big this year, and was also a trend last spring and summer and even this fall, though not quite as big, is puff sleeves. I love puff sleeves. I love balloon sleeves, but I especially love puff sleeves. They're so dramatic. They're so, I don't know, they're just so much fun to have. I have lots of things in the summer especially that have puff sleeves in them, and I was really excited to wear them. I would like to next year get some more fall puff sleeve items, but this year it's going to be an even bigger trend. There are all different kinds of puff sleeves. There's like the ruched puff sleeve, the like really short puff sleeve, even long sleeves with puffed sleeves, and then it goes into just a regular sleeve. Like there's all different kinds and styles and different volumes, and I feel like even more so than it was big like in the 80s and 90s, today the way it's done, a little bit less exaggerated. I mean, it's still a statement, but it's not quite as over the top and a lot more wearable than in the past, I think. And this year it will be a really fun thing to wear in the summer and in the spring and throughout the rest of 2021. So the third trend is actually a couple of different trends combined, but really this is just the colors trend for this year. And neutrals are a big trend this year, having a neutral color palette, completely like a monochromatic look, all those different kinds of things. But also on the other side of the coin is pastels, and pastels are going to be really big again this year, just like they were big last year. In the last few years they've been getting bigger and bigger, and this year it's like an explosion of pastels, but again neutrals. So there's a complete opposition this year in what's on trend, which I think is cool too, because Neutrals are something that I wear a lot of, but I also really like the look of pastels, and I think they're so cute and feminine and like fantasy-ish. Like just, I don't know. I just like pastels a lot, and I like really muted colors, so it's kind of a good year for me. So the fourth trend that is really big this year, and I am so glad it is conscious and sustainable clothing. So a lot of brands, you may have noticed in recent years, are becoming more and more focused on having materials that are sustainably sourced, having clothing lines that are maybe focused on that kind of waste less mentality, or they use recycled materials, or whatever else it is that they do. Every brand, I think, is starting to become more focused on sustainability. And this year especially, after everything that's happened last year, more and more brands are becoming interested in pushing for their clothes to be more sustainable. H&M, for example, I don't know when it started, but I know last year they had a conscious brand of like their clothing or line, and everything from there I believe was like in recycled materials or was sustainably sourced. It was their more sustainable collection. And I think it seems to me that they're coming out with more and more like that at H&M and other retailers, and I cannot be more excited about this. It's definitely a step in the right direction for our environment, because the clothing industry has traditionally caused a lot of environmental issues, to say the least, with so much clothing being pushed out, so much fast fashion being really a big focus, especially like in the 2000s. Fast fashion was huge, and now I feel like more people are thinking about buying things that they will use and not just use for one season or for a couple of times and then throw away or get rid of, something they will wear for years and years. And I know that I hope that this year I buy things that I will get wear out of for years to come. Obviously, I will still have to get rid of some things because, weirdly enough, I did actually grow some. I had a growth spurt. I don't know why. At 21, why I would have a growth spurt, but I did. And if that happens again, I will probably have to get rid of some of my clothes. And just with as you get older, you do have to get rid of some of your clothes as you change, your body changes, things like that. Some materials don't last forever, but I feel like I want to, and a lot of people want to, focus more on making sure they're making sustainable choices and making good choices in their clothes so that they don't just wear them once and never wear it again. And brands are also thinking in that same kind of way. That is one great thing about 2021 for fashion. So one trend that is probably not any surprise to anyone is that florals are in this year. I mean, it's spring, it's such a revelation, but anyhow, florals are in this year, but different from years before where maybe ditzy floral prints were more in style or things like that. This year the big thing is bold floral prints, which I am really interested in. I like florals. I don't actually prefer the ditzy florals. Like, I don't like that much the small florals. It has to be like a specific kind of floral for me to like it in like the small print. I actually prefer like bolder, bigger floral prints, so I'm actually really interested and excited about this trend. But bold florals are in more and more this year than they were last year, so that is another trend for this year. What trend am I on? 6? Okay, so the 6th trend for this year is baseball caps, and baseball caps have been around forever, but they're even more so on trend this year, and I actually don't mind it. I don't usually wear baseball caps, but if I went to like an amusement park or something, I would wear a baseball cap so that I don't get like sunburned on my head, which has been known to happen, and things like that. So I am definitely interested to see what kinds of trends will come out and fashion styles will come out with baseball caps, how people will style them, what people will wear them with, and what unique ideas brands will come out with to kind of spice up the baseball cap trend. Unless they keep it pretty similar to years before, which could also happen, but it'll still be interesting to see what happens with that. So the 7th trend, I actually already touched on it. I did not realize that, but anyhow, I'm just going to mention it again. As I talked about, comfort and style are a huge trend this year, and for good reason. People are not wanting to be uncomfortable at home, and honestly, anymore at all, really. I don't want to be uncomfortable no matter what I'm doing, so I think that is the reason and is a good reason for this trend this year. Trend number 8 is a trend I will probably not be getting into. I know it was a trend last year and I wasn't super interested in it then, but it is like bralettes as tops. So bralettes, or in some places they're called like those micro tops, like when the micro bag was in and the micro tops and like everything micro was in. Well, now it's still a trend wearing bralettes as tops, or like really, really short kind of crop tops, like the micro top style. Either way, that's a big trend this year again, and I'm not probably going to wear it. I just don't think it's really my style, but who knows. So yeah, that is one trend that I wanted to mention for this year. So my last trend, this is trend 9. I tried to come up with 10, but I just ended up with 9, so this is what happened. The last trend is the colors of the year from Pantone. So this year's colors are, and let me just look at my phone. This year's colors are Illuminating, which is a bright yellow, and Ultimate Gray, which is of course a gray. So I feel like that really goes to show the contrasting styles of this year. The bright and the subdued, the colorful and the neutral. Like I think the yellow really is focusing on, after a year of loungewear and things like that, having more bright, colorful, out there clothing, and then also really like subdued kind of clothing. At least that's my thinking on the subject. It could be totally random, but it seems like it kind of goes along with this year's trend of having opposing kind of styles, but still like coinciding trends. So that is it for my 2021 trends video. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any comments or ideas for future videos, leave them in the comment section down below, and I will see you next week.